Noah Sewell's called one of the Chicago Bears sleeper picks on the defense to make a huge impact. We're going to talk a little bit about that article and what the heck are they seeing. And we're going to talk about a player to watch at every position for the Chicago Bears this upcoming season and why the former coaches with the Chicago Bears weren't thrilled with Caleb Williams. We're going to talk about all that and dive a little bit into the mailbag right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get into this content for today, y'all. And we got some surprising talk around the Chicago Bears. Yesterday, me, Bobby, and C-Dub, we talked about the position groups that we felt improved the most. And one of the questions we got asked during that live stream is, well, what position groups are we the least confident in? And somebody brought up the third linebacker, right? Like, what's going to happen with that third linebacker and what's going to go on there? And according to a writer, his name is Anthony Miller, he labels Noah Sewell as a player that's ready to shine in the spotlight on the defense for the Chicago Bears. Now, let's be clear. The Chicago Bears defense was bad last year. The Bears ranked 27th in total defense last year. We allowed 354 yards per game, and that's bad. Now, we did keep teams out of the end zone decently well. We allowed 21.8 points per game, which is crazy considering the yardage that we looked out that we gave up in those games. But there's no doubt that Dennis Allen is coming in, hoping to correct the defense. So once again, we have another defensive-minded coach coming here to help stave off the slide defensively. Matt Eberflus, we were on the slide defensively before he came in. He actually did stop the slide in his first couple of years, but then we still stay stagnant, basically. Then we fell off a cliff again last year. But in this article, they talk about Noah Sewell, saying Noah Sewell is ready to shine in the spotlight, saying this. A lot of the focus has been on rookie Ruben Hippolyte, as he could be one of the three starters with TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. Hippolyte still has to compete with Sewell for that final spot and isn't given for the first-year man. Sewell was a day 3 pick for the Bears, and Chicago selected him 5th round of the 2023 draft. Incredibly, he was only 21 at the time when he got drafted and had to work his way into finding some playing time. Through his first 2 years, Sewell has found himself on special teams, having played only 32 snaps on defense over the last 2 seasons, while playing over 70% of the special team snaps, and has appeared in 22 games. Now, this is a hot take in the sense that while we have heard that Noah Sewell is competing for Ruben Hippolyte for that third linebacking spot, that being that starting linebacker, and nobody's doubting that Noah Sewell actually does have a chance. Ben Johnson even himself talked about Noah Sewell and how his physical makeup matches what Dennis Allen likes to have on the defense, right? But and while I can understand that nobody should count out Noah Sewell having a chance to step up, he's 23 years old, he's going into his 3rd year in the league, but he has not shown much of anything. And to call him somebody that could shine in the spotlight is going to be a bit of a take for Chicago Bears fans, considering we haven't seen much from Noah Sewell. Now, injuries have played a part. He hasn't played a lot of defensive snaps, but you like to think that there's a reason for that. Now, like I said with many people, when it comes down to it, is that under this new coaching staff, you are hoping out and expecting things to step up a little bit, right? Like a different viewpoint, a different set of eyes to be on these players, and hopefully have a better evaluation, hopefully have a better idea of how to use these guys. Noah Sewell could be somebody that benefits from that. But to call him out as somebody that could be a sleeper for the Chicago Bears defense, to me, personally, I just got to see it more before I'm willing to say that. And that's just with everybody. If you guys know, it's one thing that I've done this all season. It's almost everybody that I talk about with this Bears team, I say I need to see it. Because that's really what it comes down to for me personally. Everything with this team, I have to see it. If I don't see it, it doesn't matter to me. So we can talk about the potential there, right? And that's where it comes down to potential versus probability. Right now, I'm more leaning on the side of probability, right? And so for a player that's been here for 2 years, that has barely played any defensive snaps and been able to get on the field, even when we've had injuries and things like that in that linebacker core, the probability drops off a little bit for me. Now, I'm going to still acknowledge that there is a possibility, as I've said, for Noah Sewell to surprise some people. Like, we drafted him for a reason. The raw talent were there for a reason. It just was. And I think overall, when you look at it, because that raw talent was there and he was only 21 years old, there is some people that are just slow learners in the NFL. There's so much going on in the NFL, and the Bears have had such bad coaching that maybe Noah Sewell was one of those guys that just didn't get the coaching that he needed to maximize on that potential that's there. But if we're now trusting what we have here on the defensive side of the ball, if we're trusting the coaches that we have here on the defensive side of the ball, then of course you're expecting them to have a better evaluation of the players that are there, right? And so we'll see there. Now, Chicago Bears, in trying to get this defense to be respectable, 27th in total defense is not going to cut it. It's not going to be something that Dennis Allen settles for by any stretch of the imagination. So whoever steps up, and that's the one thing that I do like about what we're hearing about this coaching staff. When you hear a guy like Dominique Robinson, that's basically been a completely forgotten about guy and a pariah, still being somebody that even the coaching staff has looked at and said, hey, he's showing us something there. It shows you that anybody has the opportunity if they step up. And sometimes you just need that push. If Noah Sewell can be one of those guys that gets that and benefits from that with this new Bears coaching staff, great. So be it. Not mad at it at all. If that ends up being the case, that ends up being the case. But let me know what you guys think down below as far as Noah Sewell being documented as a player that could shine in the new spotlight with the Chicago Bears and be a sleeper on that defense to make a big impact. Didn't expect to hear that today, but hey, maybe you guys feel a little bit more strongly about it than I do. But let me know what you guys think on that down below. With that said, there's an article over from Vincent Parise who talks about one player at every position on the offensive side to watch in training camp. So I want to go over that. Of course, at quarterback, Caleb Williams, it's clear. What Caleb Williams, how he grew from year one to year two is going to be one of the biggest stories for this Bears team the entirety of this season. But especially in training camp, especially in preseason, no matter how many snaps he plays, there are going to be Bears fans that go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and overanalyze what happens with Caleb Williams in training camp and in preseason. And again, as I've said with many times with Caleb Williams, that's just the nature of the job. That's what you wanted. This was your dream. This is what comes with that dream. You have to be you have to be able to step up in those moments. And so while Caleb Williams had a respectable rookie year, if he wants to become a great quarterback, like he said, there's a lot of room for growth there for Caleb and a lot of things that Caleb needs to get better at. So I agree with that one. There's going to be nobody there other than that. At running back, though, they picked Kyle Monangai, and I completely understand this. Despite being a 7th-round pick, Kyle Monangai, it on paper, right now, offers the best combination of ability to run the ball, both between the tackles and bounce it to the outside, speed and strength combo, as I'm mixing words together, speed and strength combo, and the ability to break tackles as well. You factor in that pretty decently in the passing game also, I can understand why Kyle Monangai is the guy that's picked here as the player to watch in training camp. We got to know what DeAndre Swift is. And DeAndre Swift under a better offensive line should be better than what he was last year. Rojo, got to stay healthy. But Kyle Monangai is the guy that people are going to be looking for because if he steps up and demands and his level of play demands him being more in the rotation than initially thought and get more snaps, that really does make the game easier, as well as him being a pass block. He really has the best combination of everything. While he doesn't have the traditional size you look at for a player that's a good pass blocker, you got to just watch the tape. Kyle Monangai is a guy that the tape speaks very loudly on who the hell he is. And we'll see what happens there with Kyle Monangai if he starts taking snaps away from players. At the wide receiver, they picked Romo Odunze here. I'm surprised that it's not Luther Burden, but I think with Rome, the size that he's added, the bulk that he's added, how much like with Caleb Williams, the step that he is expected to make from year 1 to year 2, it should be huge here. And the ability as a route runner, be on the outside, like Romo Odunze's ceiling is still extremely high. And so coming into camp this year, the mini camp, bulking up and all that, being more ready to handle the rigors of what's going to happen in the NFL and being a wide receiver there, of course the expectation is going to be extremely high for Romo Odunze, right? And so when you look at the draft class that he was in, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, right? You look at those guys, they're already basically considered stars. This is Romo Odunze's time and opportunity now himself to turn into that star, and we'll see if he can do it. At tight end, they picked Colston Loveland here. No surprise there. Me personally, I would have gone Cole Kmet, and not a knock on Colston Loveland, but Cole Kmet was underutilized last year. under, Shane Waldron, Thomas Brown, he just wasn't utilized in the way that you expected after the record-setting season he had, last year in 2023. And so because of that, you're now looking at, I would look at Cole Kmet under this new staff and Ben Johnson to be the guy to watch. But Colston Loveland is the rookie, drafted 10th overall. His route running ability is amazing. He has a great route running ability. He's one of the best route runners instantly on the Chicago Bears. And so with the 12-man unit that we're going to run a lot, Colston Loveland's going to be a big part of that. I can understand why he's picked there. Offensive line, they pick Ozzie Trapillo. Again, going shiny and new there, which is fine. Personally, I'd go Drew Dahlman here, and mainly I say that I know he's a veteran, but we've had such poor center play for the last 3-4 years that I think having Drew Dahlman there and the competent center play, I'm really excited to see what that brings as far as a new dynamic to this team. But I can't be mad at somebody picking Ozzie Trapillo. I think either way, whether Ozzie starts or not, his ability to play left and right tackle, if he does not start, which still feel like he's going to, but if he does not start, he's still going to play a huge amount of the snaps because of his ability to play both of those. With Braxton Jones still recovering from injury, Kieran Amagaje being more raw than Ozzie Trapillo, I think Ozzie Trapillo and what he's already done and how he's been talked about in mini camps and OTAs, I can understand why he's the guy to watch there in training camp. Absolutely. But that's the guys that they picked at every position group for the Chicago Bears as far as on the offensive side of the ball. They'll probably have the defensive article out sometime today. We'll cover that one tomorrow. But let me know down below your guys' thoughts. Who do you have as the guys that you're looking for in training camp the most for the Chicago Bears? It can be offense. It can be defense. I just love to hear from you guys on that one. Who do you think are the players to watch for the most in training camp? Let me know that down below. Now, with that said, there's always drama surrounding the Chicago Bears, and NFL and ESPN's Jeremy Fowler talked about the Bears and what happened as far as the coaching staff not being thrilled with him, and said this: football maturity is going to be a big thing for him. League-wide, talking to other teams who are watching it closely because the ability is massive, but how does he compose himself on the field? Bears have already been working with him on body language, how you're handling yourself in the huddle, on the sidelines when a play doesn't go the right. And word out of Chicago is he's handling himself well there. To continue to quote, now some of the previous Bears coaches were not overly thrilled. I was told that he made public that he was watching film by himself. They feel like he could have handled that a little bit better from an accountability standpoint. So those are the things people are watching. But word is this offseason, he's been great, really taking to Ben Johnson's hard, aggressive coaching. So to hear that the Bears' former coaching staff had a problem with Caleb due to him speaking out on the whole film thing, I wish I could say that surprises me, but it doesn't. Because that Bears coaching staff was full of insecure, grown-ass men who couldn't hold themselves accountable, and still, for what it's worth, have not held themselves accountable for what failed here last year with the Chicago Bears. Just being 100% honest, they still have not yet. We still have yet to hear Matt Eberflus say, hey, I did this wrong. I could have been better than this in the head coach. It was my first time as a head coach. I'll grow. I'll learn from it. No, Matt Eberflus still. The last time he was interviewed, would he throw Caleb under the bus? No, we did that. We held coaching film studies all the time. That's all I can say in my time there. Shut the fuck up, right? Like, I'm sorry. I don't hold anything personal over this coaching staff because they're gone now. And that's all we really needed and wanted, for them to be gone, for them to be out of here. That enough done. No harm, no foul on whatever happened when you were here or when you were not here. But the fact of the matter is that we did not have a coaching staff that held anybody accountable. So I'm really glad to hear that Caleb is taking to the aggressive coaching style, because you know what that says? If it's true, and if we see him continue to grow, it means that it was the coaching. It was their style of coaching. Now, not every style of coaching works for everyone. It is what it is there. But Caleb wasn't the only one to call out the coaching style that we had last year here. So I don't care why they weren't as thrilled with Caleb Williams or whatever else. I don't care. Do better at your job. Go forth into it, Matt Eberflus, and be a better defensive coordinator. Shane Waldron's a coach of something somewhere. I don't even think he's an offensive coordinator. Go be better. Learn your job. Thomas Brown is I have no issues with Thomas Brown. Not to say that he was perfect as an offensive coordinator or when he became a head coach, but I do think Thomas Brown eventually is going to develop, and you're going to see him eventually become a head coach in this league, because I think he had the right mindset and he was way more accountable than any time that Matt Eberflus was here. But those other two, get the fuck up out of here, man. Like real talk. I'm glad that they're gone. I'm glad that we have better coaching staff now here in place to help develop this young talent. And let's focus on that. I'm done talking about idiots and what the former coach staff did or did not do because they're stupid. And there's a reason why they're not here anymore. And that's just it when it comes down to that. You guys can let me know how you feel on all that down below. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the voicemails that we got from today. You know, Monday we like to do overflow. This one's from the 708.
What's up, guys? Hayes, what's up? Bobby, what's up? And C-Dub, what's up? I called earlier. I want to cancel that message because this would be better. So, with Cole Kmet, my problem is he's not being utilized. I don't know if Caleb Williams don't like white people. What's his problem? Now, he got quarters a white boy. We're going to find out if he will throw at any white person in the football field. He loves throwing the Allen so damn much, and he fucking up. Allen dropping balls. What's the problem with Kmet? What's the problem with our white tight ends? Use the white ball. I'm black. I don't care. You throw it to who's open. And they open, you throw them the damn ball and disrespect them and don't disrespect the Bears. Bear down all damn day. I've been mad about that shit for many months now, and I finally got it off my chest. I am pissed off about what he's doing with our tight ends. He can't throw the ball, then quit. Stop playing. Stop being a bitch. Actually, Hayes, you talk like that too. But all I'm saying is that he needs to be a real quarterback and throw to the open man. Don't throw to the man who's dropping balls, and you don't throw Romo Odunze for the ball on the money. That's how you get paid, on the money. You know what, big? Throw that shit on the money. I like Caleb, but I'll tell you, he pissed me off some days. And some days, he really pissed me off. I'll bust his ass. I want to bust his ass, be racist. You gotta play football and put that black and white shit out the fucking door. Peace out, y'all. Better.
Okay, I played this voicemail, right? I was going to pass it up, but I played this voicemail to kind of highlight the fact that, A, I tell everybody, if you leave a voicemail here, we're going to play it whether I agree or disagree with it, right? And that's fair. That's what if you take your time out to call into the show, I'm going to play your voicemail, as long as you're not doing something completely stupid. But to say that this has anything to do with race is fucking idiotic. Because, A, Cole Kmet was 4th in receptions and 4th in targets last year on the Chicago Bears team. Now, yes, there were times where he was not in the offense. Guess what? That was not on Caleb. To say something stupid as fuck, as Caleb Williams won't throw to white people, is fucking, this is the type of dumbass narrative. This is why when people say, it's the national media, I always say, no, it's not just the national media. Because we have some people that are legitimately Bears fans that say stupid shit sometimes, right? And don't get me wrong, we've all said some stupid shit at one point or another, but to try to use race as a reason why Cole Kmet didn't get more targets and not understand that there were times where he was out there on snaps that he shouldn't have been, especially early on the season. He should have been out there on some snaps that he just wasn't. That's not Caleb Williams. He was 4th in receptions on the team. 4th. He only had 7 less receptions than Romo Odunze as a tight end. Shut the hell up. Come on. Listen, do not make the fact that we play voicemails on the show and that we are a family here to allow you to say stupid shit. You wasted your time. You wasted your minutes on your Obama phone to call in and to say something. You called in 3 times. It took you 3 times to get that half-brained ass idea out of here, and then you still only said something that was stupid. That's dumb. Now, if you want to talk about how Caleb needs to improve as a quarterback, that he needs to be able to attack down the middle of the field better, he needs to be more accurate, he needs to not hold on to the ball more, that is perfectly fine because all that stuff is true. But to come in with as dumb fuck as a narrative as, oh, Caleb doesn't like to throw to white people, shut the fuck up and smack your mama for birthing you. That's what the fuck that you need to do, because that was stupid. That was objectively dumb as fuck to say, and everybody is now stupid for hearing it, and your mama's ovaries all felt a collective shudder that the fact that something they produce just said something as dumb as that. Let's move on to the next voicemail, man. This one's from Darius.
What's happening, gentlemen? I'm Darius from Dallas, man. I just wanted to call and touch up on a couple players, man. I heard a lot of people talking about Montez Sweat over the past few weeks, and high expectations should be expected of him. I think you guys got to talking about like what sack numbers are acceptable from him. I kind of started off on, man, I need double-digit sacks out of you. But I kind of, once I got to hear a little bit more about Dennis Allen's defense and, got to see how things are going in minicamp, he's not going to need to have double-digit sacks. I do think Bobby might be dead on with Kyler Gordon getting 5, 6 sacks. I think that's a high possibility. I think we don't with the linebackers blitzing and with what we got going on with the revamped defensive line. Hell, he's only going to need about 8 or 9 sacks. Same thing out of Odeyingbo. And the rest of the sacks can come from the secondary and the linebackers, man. And I think we're going to be in good shape. But speaking on that, I just wanted to touch up on Tyreek Stevenson. Now I know that Hayes doesn't like it when I'm hard on second round picks, but I don't give a shit. So I think that just like I said with Javon Dexter, you're a second round pick. This is the year that I need to start seeing you make a big impact. I'm not doing this thing where we talk about a guy's potential for 3 or 4 years and it never comes to fruition, but we still believe in it. I'm not doing that. I'm just not. I don't care what you say. But I think that he, on a positive note, can really benefit from this defense. Because I think I go back and a good comparison to him is kind of like Kyle Fuller. Very aggressive, within the first 15 yards, really, really good with coverage, but down the field kind of struggles a little bit, but really good coming downhill, off the blitzes and stuff like that. And I think that this defense is set for where we shouldn't see no more cornerbacks sitting 15 yards off the ball, man. I'm tired of seeing that shit. I was okay when Kyle Fuller did it because he had an elite break on the ball. But Tyreek Stevenson, your bitch ass ain't got that kind of break on the ball, so I need you to get up on him. Yeah, the only person that should be 15 yards off the ball is Jalen Johnson. I don't want to see no more cornerbacks off the ball. We got better pass rush, so we should be able to play up on these guys and get a little bit more physical, man. We've lacked physicality, I feel like, in the secondary. So I want to see these guys get up and play a little bit more. And I think Tyreek should be able to benefit off of that, man. But let me know what y'all think. Check this up, bear down.
First of all, you want to touch up a couple of players? This is Chicago Bears Central, my boy. This isn't your dating profile, but, it is what it is. They're a little weird, but not going to judge you for it. Now, and this is the thing that Darius does, right? And Darius, y'all know, Darius, you're going to hear his voicemail a lot. Very good football guy, smart football guy. But sometimes Darius gets caught in narratives as well. First of all, I've never said don't judge second-round picks. I don't know where you even got that at. But I do think that you sometimes fall into narrative. When you talk about Tyreek Stevenson needs to show something like he hasn't shown anything, don't get me wrong. Tyreek Stevenson made some dumbass shit that he did, and he needs to grow and improve from that. But even throughout that, out of 222 quarterbacks in the league, he was in the top third to half of every statistical quarterback for statistical category for cornerbacks last year. Now, you could talk about the Javon Dexter and how he fell off thing, but Tyreek Stevenson, 13th in tackles, 28th in assisted tackles, 11th in forced fumbles, third in stops out of 222 cornerbacks in the league. 197th in missed tackles. That's good. The lower numbers, the better. It means he didn't miss that many tackles. 15th in interceptions. 146th in passer rating allowed. Again, lower numbers, better there. He only allowed a passer rating of 83 when he was targeted. Yards per reception allowed, 33rd in the league at 13.9. Pass breaks up, 6th in the league at 10. Receptions allowed, 44th at only 43 receptions allowed on the season. And oh, by the way, he was 41st in total snaps played. So he played a bunch of it, and 58th in covered snaps played. What are we talking about? And this is the thing that this is why, and again, the last caller was silly. Me and Darius, this is a brotherly back and forth. So not to say that Tyreek Stevenson he absolutely has things that he needs to work and improve on. And I think there are areas that he's definitely going to grow on under Dennis Allen for sure, right? Not trying to say that, but to act like that Tyreek Stevenson hasn't shown anything, and this is where Bears fans get caught up in narratives because of one thing that happens. Now, he can be better in coverage. I'm not saying that he can't, but to say that he was terrible in coverage, he wasn't. He's in the upper half of the league. Now, again, you want to see him be better than that? We all should. I want everybody in this team to be top third in the league possibly, but come on, man. What are we doing here when it comes to Tyreek Stevenson? Again, facts over narrative, and that's not directed at Darius. That's just in general. And I think that's something that, as fans in sports, we can be better about. But that's my time for today. Make sure you guys are following us at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773 242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.